Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are here for episode 5 of We Live in Color. I'm Deaunte Damper, your host, and I have to tell y'all, I had the most amazing weekend. Before we get into our guests, I had the most amazing weekend. Kirk, can you show a little bit of that footage, please? When I tell you Alki Beach Pride showed up and showed out, it's like a special shout out to Jolie and Stacy. They put together, along with their staff, they put together an amazing event full of hope, love, and when I tell you I ain't worked so hard in so long, I had to go home a little bit early because I just had such an amazing time. Now, we got a couple of pictures too. I want to shout out to my girl Dominique. Shout out to the Alive and Free organization, Pocan, Gay City. We were outside, y'all, and it felt so good to be out there on the block with community. Shout out to Anthony too, and happy birthday to my friend Miss Lynn. We had so much fun. Now today we do have an amazing guest, and I can give him so many different introductions. ED of Pocan, ED of Pacific Northwest Pride, but I'm happy to call him friend. Welcome, Stephen Sawyer. How are you?
Hello, thank you, Deaunte. How are you today?
I'm doing blessed. Now, before we get into Pocan as a whole and Pacific Northwest Pride, who is Stephen Sawyer? Where are you from? Because you're Alabama, right?
Louisiana, actually.
All
Yeah,
right,
so I'm a
okay.
Southern
I was
boy,
close.
right? Born and raised in Louisiana. I am a fourth generation preacher. At the heart of all I do really is community. And so, yeah, that's me.
Okay. Now you said. Now you briefly said it. So we'll touch on that for a second. So you came here and did you automatically start working for Pocan, or how did that navigate?
No, so I came here 20 some odd years ago.
Okay.
Really, my brother had moved up here. He had went to school and finished school, and it's my god brother. And he said, "Hey, some great opportunities. You might want to come up here, help you finish school." And so I transitioned, and it was supposed to be temporary because I had left Atlanta, moved back home for a little while, and was going to like take a chill pill, and I was going to go back to Atlanta. But I got here and really started doing work, and for me, my family is just big about community service and being in community. So when I got here, I sought out, where is community? Who's doing what? Where are people that look like me? And for that, it was Pocan. So at that time, we had a Tacoma office, and they were doing movie nights. And so Autry Bell invited me to one of their movie nights.
And we'll be talking to that brother in a second. But Pocan, 35 years in community.
35 years. Yes, such a blessing to this community. And I am so just overwhelmed and elated to be able to do this work and to do this work with the history and the legacy that the agency holds. Everywhere I go, someone has a story about Pocan. Either they worked for Pocan or they had family that was serviced by Pocan, and they talk about, how rich and how meaningful it is to community both then and now.
Okay, and for people who don't know, right, what is Pocan?
So Pocan is formerly known as People of Color Against AIDS Network, is really a community service, social service agency. It started out doing HIV work in communities of color, particularly when the virus began to migrate in communities of color and there was nobody addressing those issues. And so it was kind of a for us, by us agency. But it's grown. So we do everything now from senior medical mobile services. We service every senior citizen center in King County and provide those mobile services at senior citizen centers to better educate and inform and to serve our seniors. We have a youth program, which is a restorative justice program, working with youth in schools, doing in-school diversion program. I mean, we have the whole host of different things. We have an HIV testing, an STI testing clinic, a PrEP clinic. Yeah, so it's a whole host of services now.
So I heard community resource, also wellness, also prevention. And I don't think that we talk enough about prevention. And while working in that segue, right, what made you, Autry Bell and Ms. Olivet, come up with the idea for like, hey, let's have a specific pride? Because there have been other Black Pride events, right?
Yeah, so Pacific Northwest Black Pride really was birthed out of a rich heritage and history, we say. We weren't the first. There was Seattle Black Pride that went on to be Emerald City Black Pride, and now Pacific Northwest Black Pride. So we really do stand on the shoulders of those individuals who launched those great opportunities, but they did their work in their time, and now it's our time to do our part, right, to keep that history moving. For me, particularly having coming from the South and being rich and deep in community, one thing that I noticed here, and particularly with gentrification, right, it pushes us to the margins, and we don't often have a place to call community, right? And so for me, that was at the heart of why I felt like we needed this organization, right? That we needed something that helped create a place of space and community for us, specifically for Black people. I know that a lot of times we get into this word BIPOC, but BIPOC can also be excluding in the sense that it will take away from exclusive spaces, right, that address issues that only Black folks understand and other Black queer people will know.
Well, even with doing this work, right? Because it has to be a challenge. And I have to ask you a personal question. I know we just got started, but you're also a pastor. So how does, like, you know how they say, right? So were there any conflict? Like, how did you feel going into that?
So no confliction for me, right? I am an out, gay, affirming minister. I'm a part of the United Progressive Pentecostal Church Fellowship, which is a national fellowship. Actually, I'm on what we call their general board. I'm a bishop on the board. And so really no conflict. It really marries the work, right? Most of the work that I do at Pocan, I look at as ministry. The work that I do in Black Pride also I feel as ministry, right? What better ministry than connect community and to create a place called there for folks where their voices and their issues and their concerns can all be heard, and then we can work together for solutions.
No, amen to that. So God is for me. And when we come back, we'll actually talk a little bit more about Pacific Northwest Pride. You are watching We Live in Color with Deaunte Damper.
Guess what, you guys? Portland Hip Hop Week is August 20th through 27th, and Converge Media is proud to be an official partner. Of course, it's your buddy Basa Gordon here, and you already know the Converge team is literally going to head south on I-5 to celebrate hip-hop culture in the Rose City. Portland Hip Hop Week is literally jam-packed with dope events, including the Hip Hop Skate Party, hosted by DJ OG1, Hip Hop Wine and Chill at the Abbey Creek Winery. There's also a DJ workshop hosted by Grand Wizard Theodore, and let's not forget Portland Hip Hop Week's biggest night, the 2022 Star Awards, and this year they're celebrating women in hip hop. You can get more information by visiting pdxhiphopweek.com, and of course you can head over to my blog at jammin1075.com. Just search Basa.
Hey y'all, my name is Nicole Harvey, and I proudly serve as the Director of Community and Family Engagement at Seattle Jazz Ed, and I'm here to let y'all know that we're getting to launch our fall programming the first week of October. So if you're a student or you know a student between the grades 4 through 12 that is interested in playing music, whether they're a beginner or they've been playing for a long time, we have saved a seat for you. For more information, please visit our website at www.seattlejazzed.org. All of our programs and classes are offered on a sliding scale tuition policy, which means that families get to choose what they pay, no questions asked. We also have free loaner instruments available for every student to use. If you have questions, you're welcome to contact us via email or by phone at programs@seattlejazzed.org or 206-324-5299. Lastly, we just want to let y'all know that we're hosting a block party on Thursday, August 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. There's going to be free food, music, and it's going to be a really good time. So for more information, please visit our website. You can also check it out on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Thanks, y'all. Hope to see you soon.
Basically, fam, believe in giving. Like, we have to be willing to give more, and people seem to always think giving means money, but nah, bro. It's like you can give time, you can give understanding, you can give access, you can give a listening ear and an open heart. You can give and share your God-given gifts and talents, but you just got to give.
And we're back. Welcome back to We Live in Color, and I'm here with one of three of my guests, Stephen Sawyer.
Thank you.
Yeah, so well, we were talking about giving, right? So what was it like starting that first year of Pacific Northwest Pride?
Wow. So we're 5 years old. This is our 5th year anniversary. That first year, we really just kind of pulled it out of the hat, right? We didn't know where the money was coming from. We didn't know how we are going to make it. And oftentimes our traditional prides, right, have big resources. They have big donors, big sponsors. They give 30, 40, $50,000 very easily to pride. And it takes that and more to help really do a good pride. But we just pulled on community, and community came through, right? So people started giving, they started donating, they started donating their time. You were there donating your time.
I was definitely there.
Yeah.
That is definitely memorable.
And so it came together. And then we start going to some workshops and getting some information about how to do it better, and so it's grown.
And I want to, while we're still talking here, I do want to make sure I'm shouting out Mike and Isaac and both the Kings, Dwayne and Trey. And if I'm missing Dominique, and if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. But I just remember that year, and even the second year, right? And I just want to tell this small story. Do you remember we rented out a place, and when we rented out the place for the ball, right, we couldn't get the ball, so we ended up having the ball in a funeral home.
Yes, community came through again, right? So we rented this place, we did the down payment, got there, and there was some permit or something she needed around the liquor, and she was like, "No, I'm not gonna let y'all have it here." And so we pivoted real quick, and was able to. One of our friends came through who has a funeral home.
Say who, but thank you very much.
And the space wasn't built out, and so we just turned it into a ball, right? But that's what we are as community, right? We're resilient, right? And so often, I think that's a big issue too, or a big difference, right? When we look at traditional prides, our traditional prides have really become this big celebration, this big party. But for Black prides, it's more than just that, right? It is really about helping to bring resources to community. When you think about, Black gay men are still possibility of 1 in 2 being positive. When you think about our youth, homeless youth, when 70%. You think about LGBTQ homeless youth, most of those are Black and brown. When you think about those being affected by monkeypox and by COVID-19, that's running in our community, and we're more disproportionately affected by those things. And so these kinds of events can help address some of those issues, and some of the stuff we'll be talking about this weekend.
And absolutely, and we'll get into that too. I just have to ask this question. As a person that's worked in community, and I've watched all these other prides, right? What is the how does it feel to know that a lot of the work that you all do, working for advocating for Black and BIPOC community members, you put in a lot of work, and then you see these other entities get so much more support that aren't Black, right? How does that feel? How does that feel? And I mean, and I'm saying that I'm not trying to get you in trouble with grants, but I think that what's really important is that people need to hear what that looks like. Because I mean, you put in the work for people to show up. People show up and show out.
Right.
Right.
Well, for me, it's all about doing the work, right? So we put our head to the ground and we do the work. I think at the end of the day, the people know the difference. I think, when we think about communities of color, and particularly Black communities, right? Because we're not just talking about communities, we're talking about Black folks, right? Only Black people can talk for Black people. And so I don't care who you are or who you may think you are. At the end of the day, we know our experience. Our theme this year is really, I identify, we unify, less Black pride, right? And it's about understanding that first, we come together and there's that identity that we share as Black queer folk, right? That we don't even have to say something. We can give a look across the room and you kind of know what I feel because you've been through certain experiences and we share, right? And so there's a shared experience that we have that nobody else can speak to if they're not Black. And so we invite everybody, right? It's open to everybody, but this is really being curated for Black folk, right? And that's much needed, particularly here in the Pacific Northwest. So, and then it's really about bringing unity, bringing us together to be unified around our own issues, our own circumstances, and then celebrating each other, right? And patting each other on the back and telling each other, how wonderful we are and all of the Black excellence that's in our community, and that we can do what we need to do, even if we have to do it by ourselves.
That's a word. So I'm going to ask you this, and I'll be asking other people. What do you want your legacy? What do you want this legacy to be here? I know I heard the unify. I know the theme, but what would you want this legacy to be?
Really, I want it to be known as a staple in community that's helped to really galvanize our community and bring us together to respond to whatever issues that may come up, right? I know that we come out for the parties and we turn up, but really Black Pride is more than that. It really is about us addressing the issues that are in our community so that we can find solutions.
Right. And I appreciate you for that. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Autry Bell. You're watching We Live in Color here at Converge.
Guess what, you guys? Portland Hip Hop Week is August 20th through 27th, and Converge Media is proud to be an official partner. Of course, it's your buddy Basa Gordon here, and you already know the Converge team is literally going to head south on I-5 to celebrate hip-hop culture in the Rose City. Portland Hip Hop Week is literally jam-packed with dope events, including the Hip Hop Skate Party, hosted by DJ OG1, Hip Hop Wine and Chill at the Abbey Creek Winery. There's also a DJ workshop hosted by Grand Wizard Theodore, and let's not forget Portland Hip Hop Week's biggest night, the 2022 Star Wars, and this year they're celebrating women in hip hop. You can get more information by visiting pdxhiphopweek.com, and of course you can head over to my blog at jammin1075.com. Just search Basa.
Basically, fam, believe in giving. Like, we have to be willing to give more, and people seem to always think giving means money, but nah, bro. It's like you can give time, you can give understanding, you can give access, you can give a listening ear and an open heart. You can give and share your God-given gifts and talents, but you just got to give.
Oh, you better say a speech. I love that. I love hearing that. You are watching We Live in Color. I'm Deaunte Damper, and my next guest, Pocane's been around for 35 years. But when we talk about people that are essential to Pokane, this man is that with 20 plus, close to 20 years, I believe. Autry Bell. Hi, Autry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So can you tell us a little bit more? I know we had a little bit of history of how Pacific Northwest Pride started, but how did you get started in this?
Well, I got started a few years ago in the 90s. One of my foster brothers was dying of AIDS in the hospital, and that's kind of when I found out about HIV and AIDS and what it was. So I was just coming fresh from a country town in Texas, and so I got involved in Brother to Brother at the time.
Okay, what is Brother to Brother?
Brother Brother was a social group that was back in the 80s and 90s, and they did social events and helped people that were living with HIV and AIDS and supported them through the process. It was a kind of like a community gathering they would have, and talks and conversations, weekly conversations about different issues.
And what I loved about what I heard about Brother to Brother is like when we think about all these other community resources and all these grants that are all coming out, right? But y'all were literally building the grants with the work that you were doing at no cost. What was it like being a part of Brother to Brother? I know how Pokane was, but I know it's the same thing, but what was it like?
Yeah, so Brother to Brother was birthed out of Pokane, and it was like a group. They were sister to sister and brother to brother. It was like the thing to do back in the day, because there was no cell phones really, no cell phones at all. So you go out and you did social events, parties. They did fundraisers, and like I said, they kind of helped out families. There was always a drive for Easter and a drive for Thanksgiving. Something was always going on. So and the parties, they had the what's the big one they do for the oh shoot.
Which one is it? Come on, I'll help you.
Oscar party. So that was a big fundraiser every year. So
wow.
That was a big thing to do back in the day.
And what I've always loved, and I've worked with you for a long time, but one of the things about it is that that I've loved working with you and what you do is that you bring a lot of that I wasn't a part of Brother to Brother, but you bring that essence of being so supportive to community. So for you to segue into Pacific Northwest Pride, what has that experience been like for you?
That experience has been a little different, kind of being more in the lead, and then being a brother as you were. There was already other people, and you were like more of a follower. So now it's more of a leadership position, which is a little harder, some more work. Um, um, and I mean, you try to do stuff for the community and try not to disappoint them. So the point is, it's totally different, actually. If you look at it from back in the day till now, I think community is a little bit harder to reach now because of social media.
Mhm.
Somewhat, it's a blessing and it's a curse at the same
Yeah.
time.
Do you are there certain moments that you think back in the day are there certain people that you think about back in the day that kind of bring you back to that specific memories? Any name?
Oh yeah, there's some people that have passed. There's people like the founder, I guess the guy that did it was somebody help me, Cass Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Cash Jones.
Raymond Dumas.
Of
course.
Yes. I had a picture sitting right by him at my desk.
Then there's a lot of folks that are still alive now. You got Derek Harris, Leonard Dawson. Can't think of some more names, but there's a few of them. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. I mean, I think the reason why I asked that is because as you're creating this, people will be saying the same thing about you too. So what's one of the highlights from specific Northwest Pride that we can look forward to?
One of the highlights of this year?
Yeah. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just seeing people at the park and the parties and just saying that they enjoy their time and we get that a lot. Enjoying themselves and learning. Education is some of the big things. People always learn stuff when it comes to workshops and they really enjoy those.
Can you tell us a little bit more about those workshops?
Certainly. Specific one or all of them?
A specific one, some of them, all of them.
Okay.
You don't have to go through the whole schedule. We're going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
He's shy, y'all. He's one of my favorite shy people, and I'm so happy that I got him on. Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess one of the things we've done this year is we are doing something for trans men that we usually haven't done in the past. So I think I'm excited for that myself. It's called Eden's Garden. They're going to come up and show a trailer and then talk about their experience with the film and then life. So I'm excited about that. So the first time we're doing something with trans men, we've always done something for trans women, but this time it's specifically giving them some space for trans men.
That is great.
So I'm excited about that.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Stephen. What legacy would you like to leave behind for community for doing this?
That I don't know, but the Pacific Northwest Black Pride was a stepping stone, or was there to support them in whatever they were going through at the time, and hopefully it was something that helped them enrich their lives. Yeah,
and you have done that for me, so I appreciate you. And when we come back, we will have Miss Olivette Foster. She is so happy to be here, y'all. Y'all are watching We Live in Color with Deaunte Damper.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
Basically, fam, believe in giving. Like, we have to be willing to give more, and people seem to always think giving means money, but nah, bro. It's like you can give time, you can give understanding, you can give access, you can give a listening ear and an open heart. You can give and share your God-given gifts and talents, but you just got to give.
And we're back. You're watching We Live in Color with Deaunte Damper, and I'm here with my guest, my sister friend, my everything, Miss Olivette Foster.
How you doing?
I'm doing really, really great. Now,
Good,
Olivette,
good. Yes.
how long have you been working with the entity of Pocan, and how long have you been working with Pride?
Okay, so with Pocan, actually, I started out because I'm a substance use disorder professional. So I started at Stonewall, which was a drug and alcohol treatment center on Broadway. And so the public health department asked me to do a contract working specifically with people who were suffering from HIV and AIDS. So by way of Bailey Boucher House, I ran into Alia Messiah, who works for Pocan. And so working with her and working with the different clients, I met Phyllis Little, who was then at the time the executive director, and she saw my work and she hired me.
Okay, see, that is beautiful. And I just want to confirm, because, we kind of talk about this a lot in all the areas of Converge. What area of Seattle are you from?
I'm originally from Central District.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay, born and raised, Central District.
Yes.
Yeah.
I currly now live in the South End.
Okay. See, now she's in the South End. Did you hear that? Oh, ain't here. No. So I just wanted to just make sure. But I think that what have you watched as a Black lesbian woman in our community? What have you? Have you seen any how can I put this? Do you feel that there's a neglect towards the Black lesbian community, towards Pride events? Because usually they're mirrored towards like black men, or black trans women or trans men.
Well, back when when they first got started and they started the first Black Pride, it was actually started by a lesbian. So there was quite a big connection right then. But nowadays, it's kind of a little bit kind of separated. I feel that maybe Alki Pride is more for the female population than Pacific Northwest Black Pride, but they are trying to be more inclusive. This year, they're more inclusive than ever. Yeah. And, I just like getting out and doing things. So, I don't mind joining stuff and being in the background. I don't really like being in the forefront.
Now she is so happy to be here, though. I'm so happy.
But I am so happy to be here today. No.
So even now, what are one of the events that you're looking forward towards this event?
I think I'm curious about the Eden workshop. Okay. Because most of my connection has been with trans women, never with a trans man. So it's going to be kind of educational for me and a little different. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Now I know that Autry, self-proclaimed, was a part of Brother to Brother.
Yes.
But I also would like to know, what was it like working back in the day with the Sister to Sister group?
Actually, it was fun. I mean, we did a lot of community work. So we did a lot of we would do food drives. We did back to school supplies, for the community. So we did a lot of different activities. We socialized as well. We also did, some combination events with Brother to Brother. So it was really fun back then.
And how was it kind of getting back into, as Autry said, kind of being more advanced than other people with how to organize? Because I know specifically, I've worked with you, so I know you'd be like, I'm getting my stuff out the way and then supporting us little ones along the way. But what has that process been like? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're a matriarch of helping start this as well. So what has that process been like for you?
It's actually been a learning process, because when I first started with them, I didn't know anything about anything, and so I've learned a lot. I've learned how to put stuff together. I've learned how to order stuff, so, I enjoy it because I like learning stuff all the time. The more I learn, the better I feel. Yeah.
I can honestly say, if you need somebody to get you a license or get a tape, get the fence, that chain fence. Yeah. I just remember that the most. But above all else, what type of legacy do you like to leave behind for community members here for specific Northwest Black Pride?
Oh, legacy. Ooh, I never even think about that kind of
Well,
stuff.
it's important, sister.
Just that, I was able to help somebody just like I was helped through, the different things that I've gone through in my life. My biggest thing is helping people. And that's what I like to do. So if I can leave a legacy that, yeah, she helped me and I did something for somebody that helped them move them forward, then that's the legacy I want to leave.
You know you've done that for me, so
All
I
righty now.
appreciate you. When we come back, we will have our We Live in Color tribute. You are watching We Live in Color.
Guess what, you guys? Portland Hip Hop Week is August 20th through 27th, and Converge Media is proud to be an official partner. Of course, it's your buddy Besa Gordon here, and you already know the Converge team is literally going to head south on I-5 to celebrate hip-hop culture in the Rose City. Portland Hip Hop Week is literally jam-packed with dope events, including the Hip Hop Skate Party, hosted by DJ OG1, Hip Hop Wine and Chill at the Abbey Creek Winery. There's also a DJ workshop hosted by Grand Wizard Theodore, and let's not forget Portland Hip Hop Week's biggest night, the 2022 Star Wars, and this year they're celebrating women in hip hop. You can get more information by visiting pdxhiphopweek.com, and of course you can head over to my blog at jammin1075.com. Just search Besa.
Hey y'all, my name is Nicole Harvey and I proudly serve as the Director of Community and Family Engagement at Seattle Jazz Ed, and I'm here to let y'all know that we're getting to launch our fall programming the first week of October. So if you're a student or you know a student between the grades 4 through 12 that is interested in playing music, whether they're a beginner or they've been playing for a long time, we have saved a seat for you. For more information, please visit our website at www.seattlejazzed.org. All of our programs and classes are offered on a sliding scale tuition policy, which means that families get to choose what they pay, no questions asked. We also have free loaner instruments available for every student to use. If you have questions, you're welcome to contact us via email or by phone at programs@seattlejazzed.org or 206-324-5299. Lastly, we just want to let y'all know that we're hosting a block party on Thursday, August 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. There's going to be free food, music, and it's going to be a really good time. So for more information, please visit our website. You can also check it out on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Thanks, y'all. Hope to see you soon.
Basically, fam, believe in giving. Like, we have to be willing to give more, and people seem to always think giving means money, but nah, bro. It's like you can give time, you can give understanding, you can give access, you can give a listening ear and an open heart. You can give and share your God-given gifts and talents, but you just got to give.
Now, this is about to be a jam-packed weekend, y'all, so I need y'all to get ready. But before we get to that, we have our Live in Color tribute. And who would y'all like to tribute today?
Kenny Joe.
Kenny Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about Kenny Joe?
Well, Kenny Joe was actually part of the Brother to Brother. He was very instrumental at Pokane. He did a lot of outreach and education to community. And was really just a living legend, right? He did a lot around the community. Faithful member of Zion Church, right, where he always did the flowers. And literally, he worked for Pokane, even though he wasn't employed with us at the end, all the way up to his passing, right before he relocated back home. He would do the flowers every year for our Pride events and then show up and help us out. And so really just a big shout out to him and his family and those that know him. We love him and miss him so much.
I'm telling you, our floral will never be the same.
Never.
Let alone he would always come. He knew I couldn't drive. Lord knows my car's in the shop right now, so he gave me opportunity to sit down. But I really appreciated him, and I usually do the tributes and celebrate people who we've lost. But I think I would be wrong if I did not salute Pokane as an entirety.
Thank you.
There was a boy who was 31 years old who walked here with 5 pairs of clothes moving back home, couldn't get resources because of my didn't know the right place to look for because of my status. And I'm very thankful for the case managers that helped me along that way. But I say this, and not just that, to Phyllis Little, to Donita, to Preston, to Luis, to Jose, to Olivet, to Autry, I would not be where I am if it wasn't for y'all.
We love you.
I love y'all too.
Deaunte.
And they didn't pay me to say that. I really mean that. They put up with a lot of stuff, but I appreciate the work that y'all invested in me that I've been able to give back to people. So, tier. The next part, we're just going to go into these events. Let us know what's going on. We're about to get it popping this week.
Yes.
Tomorrow, right?
So there's a little bit of everything. Yeah. So it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is Shoot Your Shot. We're bringing in Lamont Scales from Atlanta, well-known relationship coach. He's been on television on Love and Hip Hop and another number of shows, really talking about how to better your relationships, whether there's business relationships, personal relationships, all of that.
Don't be side-eye. He just side-eyed me and said relationships. It's like I'm the toxic one. I am not the toxic one, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all better blame him, all right? It's like, no, but.
Yeah, so that's great. That's going to start tomorrow night at 8. It's going to be in the Cut in Des Moines. So please come out. Help us celebrate. That's kind of kicking it off. Then we'll do our official opening reception. Will be Friday. It's going to be at the Rainier Arts Center, where we'll do an opening reception, and then we're going to have a Black vendors market. That's going to be phenomenal. Those events starts at 6, and then we'll move directly into that. We're doing a Black drag show, right? So Coach has done that in the city before. It was really, really well attended. Phenomenal event, and so we asked him to reduplicate that, and so he's doing that for us here at Pacific Northwest Black Pride, and so and that will happen again at the Rainier Arts Center. And then Saturday is our typical education day, right? So we start out Saturday at noon at the Host Hotel, which is the Embassy Suites on, what's the street? Inner Urban Avenue, right?
It is
because they say it's the Seattle.
He lives in West Seattle, y'all. You got to know Inner Urban Avenue.
You know the airport, right? So it's supposed to be the airport Embassy Suites. Okay. But I think that's so far from the airport, but neither here nor there. They've been great to us. This is our second year there, and so we'll be back there. We'll start at 12 with a host of workshops from everything with aging LGBT and Black, right? Can
you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so what does it look like to age when you're LGBT and you're Black, right? So so often what we see is particularly in aging LGBT communities, they have to go back in the closet. Well, now you have a double closet, right? That I got to deal with being isolated from my family and from my community, as well as having to maybe go back into the closet. And so what does that look like from a holistic standpoint too, right? Because your body starts to do different things, and you have different issues, right? And so they're going to be talking about that. We have a great panel that's doing that with Dr. Renee McCoy and Ali Messiah. And I'll get to calling names. I'm gonna forget folks, but yeah, a whole host of folks.
And real briefly, because we said Aaliyah Messiah like 3 times up in here, but can you explain just a little bit more, like on how essential this lady is to all community?
Yeah, well, Aaliyah Messiah has been with Pocan 32 or 33 of the 35 years it's been in existence. Her sister was a founding member of the organization. She has really been an essential part of that, and not just a central part of Pocan, but really of Seattle, right? When you think about the last Black bookstore in the Pacific Northwest, her and her partner ran that for a number of years. It's now a cultural center, and so just really a staple. And we've all learned and grown from so much of her work and what she's been able to do, not only in community, but also at Pocan as staff. So. Yeah. And so, another, like I said, a host of events. So we have, we've talked about Eden's Garden a little bit. We always have Onyx, the Seattle Onyx, which is a Black kink group, come out. They always do a sex positive workshop for us every year. This year, they're doing the Pleasure Hole.
The what?
The Pleasure Hole.
I just wanted to hear it twice, and I didn't say it, so I can't get.
Yeah, so it's going to be phenomenal. How do you play? How do you play safe? How do you use safe words? How do you do all of that and it be sex positive, right? Because we're sexual beings, right? We can't hide from that. We need to own that. We need to own that with some power, and so they're going to help us do that.
What day is that one on?
That's Saturday.
All right.
Saturday at the Host Hotel. I think they have another little section they're going to be in, but yeah. And then of course, reconciling your spirituality and your sexuality. It's always a very big topic. And so we have that going on. So yeah, a host of things. And then Saturday night, there are 2 parties.
Okay.
So there is the BlurCom Ball, which is really we always host a ball or have hosted a ball every year since we started. With the ball community, and we bring them in and we give them the funds and we let them do their thing. This year you just come dressed up as your favorite, I say, Black superhero character, right? Right, and come walk the runway and see all of the great stuff that goes on at a ball. It's going to be phenomenal. And then we're going to leave there and we're going to go to the Lituation, right?
And where's that one going to be at?
So the Lituation is in Kent. Kent, but you can go to the website and you can get the exact.
I know that's right. You better pivot. You better pivot, Stephen.
But yeah, we're gonna have a phenomenal time. It starts at 10. It'll be 10 until, and we're just gonna have a good time. We're gonna turn up great music. We have some great DJs. We even have some go-go dances and all that good stuff. And after learning some good stuff about how to be sex positive, we're gonna go be sex positive.
right, absolutely. And speaking of which, and I think it's really important to talk about this as being Black queer community members with the monkeypox in our community. How important is it for us to be having the conversations about prevention?
Yes. Get the vaccine. Find out where it is. We're working on some things. Can't say all of the stuff, but if you're Black and you show up at the park, you might just be able to get some stuff. So just
Yeah.
So it's really important that COVID-19, get your boosters. Be safe. We're really emphasizing all of that messaging. We partnered with Spokane Black Pride this year. Has been lucky enough to pivot into its own 501c3 organization.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So we have that status now, but we will always be in partnership with Spokane, and so Spokane is doing some phenomenal work around that. They did some COVID-19 education and outreach with some billboards and some flyers with folks that look like us, because we got to know it's affecting our community. And trying to get that message out. And so Pride is also doing that as well. So it'll be the STI, SC testing all 3 days. We want them to get that. And then Sunday, somebody say Sunday.
Sunday. I know he's gonna say. I know he's gonna say it. He's gonna say church. He's gonna say church all of it.
You got to be in the park. For our health and wellness festival in the park. We're gonna start with church.
Okay, amen.
Yeah. We're gonna start with church. But we're gonna move into a variety of health and wellness things. There's some great things going on. Again, HIV, STI testing. There'll be community booths that will be set up there. We have a little beer garden with a little beer and something else this year, which is a little different for us. With some hookah. Come have you a beer and have a little hookah.
Shout out to the hookah man.
Right.
Love you, BC.
And enjoy some great artists, right? So it's gonna be phenomenal. The artists are
they're all coming, and it's a wide variety of them. And I have to really just shout out the people on the back end, the whole staff for Pacific Northwest Pride. I've just watched y'all all come together and put that together. So how important are they to this?
They're phenomenal. Of course, we could not do it without our team. We could not do it without each year we have a volunteer community committee that comes in that meets on a regular, right, to help us do all of the back end work. And so we want to thank all of them, our planning team, our planning committee, and the staff of Spokane. We really could not do this event without them. So we definitely want to thank them and give them a shout out.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. And now we do have some more events, because I know I will be participating in Pride, but I can't forget about that backpack giveaway. So that backpack giveaway is Saturday, okay, at Garfield High School with the brother who put his feet on the couch, all right, with Trey Simmons. We shall be out there. We will, my Build family will be out there. While Therapy will be out there. And it's really important, no different from the Restore program that Spokane has. It's really important to give back to the youth. So we'll be out there. I will be out there with the other Trey and the rest of other community members Saturday. And I want to really just thank you so much, you, Olivet and Autry, for taking the time out to come out here to let us know, hey, Black lives, we might be other letters, but we are Black first. And it's really important for us to continue to be united, a united front in that. And I want to also send appreciation to our other communities from the LGBTQIA community, because I think we all have went through that spaces of learning and working at Spokane. we have always been in the spaces of building. So I really want to thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
And I love
Thank
y'all.
you.
And I will see y'all. I ain't going to the relationship thing because I wasn't the toxic one. Say no. But I'm gonna try to go to the majority of the events and continue to share. And community members, if you are there, please share. If you're on social media right now, please share. This is an event you don't want to miss.
Yeah, please share, volunteer. There's a volunteer page at nwblackpride.org. We need tons of volunteers, again, to help us make this weekend go smooth. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, next week, y'all, it's going down, all right? Because we're going to be in the space with Sierra and Moni Love from A Space Inside. They will come here and talk about the joys of working with community. And they are doing some unique things over there on 4th Avenue, and we're going to find that out. I want to thank my guests today. I want to thank the wonderful production team who took the time out today to come. Oh, thank you always. Converge team, you have been watching We Live in Color with Deaunte Damper. I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Thank you.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.